All right, everybody, thank you so much for waiting. We've got it all good to go, so now it's time for Brawl Brothers Easy Any Percent with Rotorstorm331.
Thank you, Buckeye Speed Bash, and welcome everyone that's just joining us. Anyway, I'm going to be performing Brawl Brothers, aka Russian Beat Ron, for the Super Nintendo on my Nintendo Switch. And we're going to be doing Easy Any Percent because we don't have to fight so many enemies on the harder difficulties. So time's going to start the moment I pick my second character. So countdown starts in 3, 2, 1, and go. So anyway, this is Brawl Brothers, aka Russian Beat Ron. It's part of the Russian Beat series in Japan. Unfortunately, when they brought the series over here to the States and worldwide, they changed the titles. As well as the main characters' names, too. So we're going to dash right over here. Use Flame Breath. Hack and Slash are the only ones with special moves that we perform during the main game. Most of the others have some pretty weird inputs for that are only exclusive to Versus mode. So I used to be the world record holder for this game until Little Boy took that. It's actually thanks to him, Josh the Funk Doc, and Barry KN that we made this run into what it is today. So we're using Slash a whole lot because of his dash attack. That allows us to hit enemies on OTG, if you're familiar with fighting game terminology. So aside from the Flame Breath, we also use a lot of techniques in the game. It's pretty highly in-depth and compared to the first game, which was Rival Turf, aka Russian Beat Ron. Russian Beat. So believe it or not, even though he's called Slash here, he's actually Douglas spelled. And the main character is Rick Norton. But they changed the names for those two main heroes in the first two games, unfortunately. But yeah, one thing I should point out then with any of the Russian Beat games is that there's a lot of cheapness going on. Enemies tend to get high priority and they get a lot of dirty tricks out. So we'll be using the Flame Breath and the dash attack a whole lot for the rest of the run. And of course the Flame Breath does almost identical damage to the Power Bomb. So right now we have to deal with this helicopter that's blasting us with gunfire, unfortunately. So as you can see, as long as you turn your back a bit and then do another dash attack, you can literally do another dash attack right off the gate. You'll have to forgive me, I'm not a very good commentator, but I will do the best I can. Now you do have the ability to do a double reverse jump, but it's very tricky to pull. And technically we want to keep all the enemies grouped into one screen if possible. So I do have to jump up here because I don't want to get shot while I'm on ground. So I am going to try to set up a Flame Breath on both of these guys. Now, the enemies that do come into the screen will have temporal invincibility frames when they do come in, so you won't be able to immediately attack or grab them, but they will have no problems grabbing you or getting whatever move they want off of you. So now we're in the sewers. We're playing on the US World version, or whatever that's called, but it's US in general. And basically because doing the maze when you figure it out correctly, it's actually more faster than doing it on the Japanese version. Yeah, these two guys didn't want to cooperate there. Sometimes the enemies get wise and everything, so... Come on. So if you see enemies move around like that and they don't want to come near you, they want to wait until your back's turned. So for the solution right there, we go to that exit right there. We're going to grab this guy, wait until his hombres come in. And we're going to try to hit the Flame Breath on them. That wipes out that group pretty quickly. Now we got the next group coming up. Now, sometimes you do get invincibility frames from being hit, but not all the time when you're doing the flame breath. So don't assume it's going to protect you. But yeah, before I came here today, I did get a new PB a couple of days ago. Getting close to first place, by the way, on speedruns.com. Now, for marathon settings, we have two. We set our live count to 3 instead of 2, and that's just mostly for safety because anything could go wrong. But technically, we try to have at least 2 lives when we do actual runs. So anyway, we're coming up to the first boss, which is the clone version of Kazan. All 3 of the first bosses are considered clone fights. So there's no actual real boss until we get the diner. So we're going to try to set up the 3 cycle here against Kazan. That was discovered by NovelBoy77, who's the current world record holder for this category. And of course Kazan's being tricky. I blew that. We're going to go into the 4th cycle now. Well, not the way I wanted it to, but I'll just have to take it for now. But technically, if I had gotten it correctly, we would have finished this fight within 3 cycles. Unfortunately, Kazan's clone room is pretty nefarious for having 4-round cycles for the most part. One thing I do want to point out is the reason why we select Slash and Windy first is that when you begin running the game or playing this game, the character you first select is eliminated from the boss order. And the second character also eliminates that character from being a boss. So depending on which character you select, you're going to have different boss fights depending on the routing you choose. So it actually affects routing. And technically we picked Wendy as second because her clone fight is probably nefarious for the most part. Because she loves jumping on that ring rope for the most part. She and Kazan probably have the most difficult ones. Slash would probably be pretty random in general because of his. He usually appears right where your character is after the lift goes up. Now, as long as we're at the bottom of the screen right here, we won't have to worry about being hit by the mines. So yeah, outside the flame breath, the power bomb that Douglas Bill does is like the next high damage move outside of that. Also comes out pretty fast. However, his back throw is not to be underestimated because that gives us a lot more hitbox duration. Pretty good if you want to protect yourself when you get cornered by enemies. Alright, not the way I wanted it, but let's just have to make do what we got. Alright, so we get past that area. We got these 2 lead heads coming up. Like I said before, some enemies a lot of them are very grab friendly, so they usually try to grab you almost immediately. Otherwise, they try to go for a more stronger attack right off the gate too. Alright, so we're coming up to the left. We're going to position our character right here. So for every enemy that comes in, they're going to be coming in a triangle formation. And we just do a single jump attack and that wipes them all out. They do come out one at a time, of course. And then once we start getting close to the end, though, they'll switch up the enemies. And we'll need to reposition our character, because we can definitely bait some of them into jumping right off. But not all of them will.
While we're riding the elevator, can I sneak in a quick donation?
Sure, go right ahead.
All right. We've got $30 from Eric, who says, "You got this, Ken."
Thanks. Alright, so there's the change. Yeah, see right there, one of them just jumped right off rather than try to fight me. Yeah, that's a little bit of manipulation. Believe it or not, I actually learned some things from seeing people play casual playthroughs. It's not always on speedruns. As they say, you get whatever wisdom you can get. Alright, so we're out of the left, so we're going straight into this next area. It's pretty straightforward. Go ahead and refill my health right now. Get rid of this lead head. Alright, let's take care of the gunman. So the red gunmen and the white ones are the only ones that shoot or throw grenades. Most of the others just basically hit you with their rifles and deliver kicks instead. Yeah, that Flynn's got very high health, even on easy difficulty. Come on. Now he's just playing, I don't want to do anything. You'll have to come to me. Alright, not bad. We got both of them at once. Okay, so we're going to position our character right. As long as I turn my character during the special animation, I can still hit them. Alright, that destroys the helicopter we saw from stage 1. Now we're going up against Hack coming up. So I did find a strat just recently. I don't know if that's consistent, but we're going to try it. So we're going to do this. Blast him with Flame Breath. Tell him to get up. Perfect. Yeah, before I found this was a little bit more difficult to deal with because sometimes he'll either go up or down depending on wherever the AI wants him to go. Alright, so we get Hack back, and we're going to use him briefly for the first part of Stage 3 coming up. And one of the reasons why we want to use them is because we're going to be throwing enemies into the pits. Normally you don't see pits in beat-em-ups for the most part. This one's pretty tricky. Yeah, I wanted to throw him, but oh well. Yeah, this one likes to deliver attacks right off the gate. And since we're using Angry Mode, we can use Hack's Angry Mode Toss, which throws them right on the ground and they get dragged right into that. Well, it's actually more faster that way, rather than fighting them. Okay. So we're gonna be taking an intentional death game over coming up in a while, but and that's to switch characters. We're gonna be doing that quite a whole lot on this stage and the next one. We'll throw the enemies off screen. I guess the pit's still there. Please do not do this in real life, by the way. No. Alright, that should probably wipe out my health there. Yep. Wow, they lined up pretty nicely there. That rarely happens. Oh yeah, when you get knocked down, you can always hit the B button to get yourself right back up. Very helpful to have. And you can also break your own throws, grabs too, just by hitting the jump button. Yep. Speaking of pancakes, I just had some this morning. Heck yeah. Yeah, heck yeah. Now we throw those guys off. We could also throw them over here too. Let's get rid of this guy. Alright, over here. Yeah, they are. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother refilling. Like I said, we gotta set up a continue coming up. Yeah, we can position our character right here and make sure some of them will be thrown off. Well, thankfully we are not gone yet. We do have to watch out though with the. I don't think so. Yeah, we're gonna lose life, but don't worry. That works pretty nicely into our plan, actually. Lift it up, then throw. Now, believe it or not, there's a pit over there too. Alright, there we go. Now we need to take an intentional death here, so we can start to continue. And thankfully when you do specials in this game, you lose health. That'll help us roll it down a bit. And we're back to playing a slash again. Okay, over here, guys, over here. Yeah, there's also one problem about trying to perform the flame breath too, is that if you don't press them precisely, you wind up getting something else instead. Which is why I switched the taunt button to special, just to make sure I have some form of attack coming out instead. Yeah, I don't want to be knocking these guys off the screen all the time. Alright, there we go. Takes care of Butch. Yeah, the rest of our enemies are pretty annoying to deal with. We'll be seeing a lot of them throughout the stage in stage 4. I definitely know now that the Butches right there are usually ready to attack us almost immediately, or grab us. Oh wow, I broke out of that. That's pretty rare. I rarely break out of throws. It is possible to do it in versus mode, but not so much in main game. Alright, so we're coming up to the elevator maze once we get through the next batch of enemies here. Alright, Barry KN discovered a new routing trick. Normally we used to go through a number of floors just to get to the exit. But thanks to this method, we're going to be we'll be cutting that down pretty quickly. So shoutouts to Barry KN. So we go down 1 floor down, 2 floors up, and 2 floors down. That's the solution for this maze. Yeah, because of this maze right here, we pretty much had to waste almost 50 minutes to an hour trying to speedrun this game back then. I have no idea. Oh, we did pretty darn well. Yeah, these guys have plenty of high health here. And we haven't seen the last of that yet. Yeah, unfortunately, unlike the first game, Slash's low blow doesn't really be very consistent, unfortunately. That's also another game I run, by the way. Alright, so once we get done here, we'll be going 2 floors down. So by holding the B and A, we go down, holding X and A together, lets you go up. Okay, I do need to set up an intentional death coming up because we do need to whittle down our lives down to 0 and switch to Kazan for the boss fight. Well, in order to switch characters, we need to take an intentional game over, or as they say, because when you continue, you can switch over to any of the other characters you've rescued. Now, you do regain your health after a while when you perform specials, as long as you don't do anything else. But we do need to whittle down our health and lives. So once we get to the end, we'll be yeah, the cyberheads are pretty annoying because those guys just love to hit you with slides.
I can sneak in a quick donation or two?
Sure.
All right. We've got $30 from Brunners, who just says, "You the man!" In all caps. I wanted to emphasize that. And we also have $20 from Phyllis Watcher, who just says, "Awesome player."
Thanks, Mom. I think that's her. Alright, we switched to Kazan, so we're going to be setting up for the boss killer known as Kazan. He's technically not the strongest, but his special right here against bosses just wipes them out. And unfortunately, I did not get the ideal setup. Yeah, don't worry, it's not over. Now, there is a chance that these bosses can't escape this loop, because I've had that happen to me before. Alright, so that completes stage 3. We'll be switching back to Slash coming up, and we're gonna try to have him hold down pretty much the entire stage coming up. So anyway, we rescued Lord J, who's, when playing him, is pretty weird. His real strength is in throws, but his normal attacks are pretty weird. In terms of hitboxes and everything. Anyway, we're on a speeding plane. Do not do this in real life, by the way. But yeah, this is where Dieter's forces start coming out to play in full force. Wow, he avoided that flame breath like nothing. That's also another method you can use to attack enemies as well. Alright, that takes care of the hecklers. Now we just gotta deal with all these enemies. Yeah, it's not that useful. Yeah, those two enemies are pretty annoying to deal with. You want to get rid of them quickly. Yeah, believe it or not, every character has an OTG attack of their own. But you have to be very neutral, and you have to have your character at a specific position right near the fallen enemy in order to do that. Yeah. The butchers are going to probably eat up the largest amount of time since we have 2 health bars to roll down. Yeah, that was a flame breath gone wrong. Alright, we got past it, don't worry. Yeah, one benefit about that back slam right there is that you get some additional hitbox frames. So even if after that move is done, you can still hit them. Alright, we're going to position our character right here. And that gets us right in here. Now, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of talking pretty much for the rest of this stage until the boss, because this is going to be long and we got a massive gauntlet of enemies to deal with.
Did anybody else notice that every single enemy looks exactly the same once they're on fire? Actually, mind if I read off a couple of donations, do a quick plug?
Sure.
All right. So we got a couple more donations here. We have $20 from Anonymous. No comment, but thank you so much, Anonymous. And we have $20 from Randy. Again, no comment, but Randy, thank you so much for your generosity. And I figure this is as good an opportunity as any to just quickly remind everybody that we appreciate your generosity. We absolutely do. It's all going to WaterAid, an excellent cause. And but if you do donate, always remember, you have a couple of things you can put your donations toward to make BSB just that much better. We have several bid wars, such as pick the tunic color in Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which character we'll see in Windjammers, and which character we'll see in Blaster Master Zero. But we also have a couple of unlocks that are coming up. Our next run, Zadette, has an incentive to fight the true final boss, and that one's just $10 away. So if you want to put your money towards seeing that met and see the true final boss of Zadette, you gotta get that one met real quick. And not long after that, we also have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, currently being played on OK difficulty, but for another $25 to meet that incentive, we can get Concentrated Plate on Gnarly, the hardest difficulty. So definitely some cool stuff coming up. So if you're already feeling that, you want to donate, always remember you can also use those to enhance the marathon.
Yeah, we're almost done there. Alright, we're getting into the boss fight. Sorry about that. Fortunately, we're going to have to take a intentional death right here because I was supposed to have done that right before this. Oh, come on, Dyer. Don't be doing this to me. Okay, good. Yeah, I was supposed to switch because I'm way before this. But unfortunately, Dyer has 3 life bars. And by the time we get to the end of his second one, he's going to ditch that weird nunchuck weapon, aka the 3-section staff. Odd. Yeah, this gets pretty annoying after this. You have to wait for him to do that. And that was not what I wanted to do. Hopefully I can get this right this time around. Should have enough health to wipe out the rest of his health bar. Time's going to be when my character does his taunt/victory pose. And time. Whew. Sorry about not having to talk through that whole stage. That is a very nasty gauntlet of normal enemies throughout that whole airship. It is. I'm not even going to listen to this message from Dieter. Just some cheesy dialogue courtesy of Jolco USA at the time. Believe it or not, a lot of the there was a lot of original stuff on the Japanese versions of these games that didn't make it over to the US and world versions due to Nintendo's policies at the time. Of course, some of them had to deal with drugs, guns, etc. So there's an obvious reason why they did that. But anyway, that's pretty much Brawl Brothers in a nutshell. But technically, I wouldn't be surprised if we see single-player games with one of the cast rather than switching to multiple others. But I'll have to be waiting for a future day, obviously. But anyway, I want to give a quick shout out to Buckeye Speed Bash for allowing me to speedrun this at their marathon, as well as give a few more shout outs to Nobleboy77, who's the current world record for any percent. Josh the Funk Dog, who is a well-known speedrunner who at one time had world records for all 3 of the Russian Beat games. And he also introduced me to some strategies that we now employ for the runs. And of course, Barry KN for finding a faster way through getting through stage 3. The elevator maze is not a very fun section, I can tell you that right now. But anyway, that's going to be it for me today. I'll be back a little bit later on this afternoon for the Ninja Saviors, The Return of the Warriors, which is a remake of the Ninja Warriors again. And I'll see you all later. This is Rotorstorm331 signing off. I'll catch you all later.
All right, Rotorstorm, thank you so much for that Brawl Brothers run. I could never beat that game myself. You just made it look effortless. Thank you so much.